In a world dictated by a rigid class system, where your rank is your life, Aaron was a nobody. A zero rank. He was the laughingstock of the elite squad he served, a convenient scapegoat, the expendable pawn. They saw him as nothing more than a stain on their pristine reputation, a piece of trash to be discarded when no longer useful. And that's exactly what they did. On a mission deep within a forbidden zone, they turned on him. His so-called comrades, the very people he trusted, betrayed him without a second thought, leaving him for dead at the bottom of a dark, forgotten abyss. But the abyss wasn't an end, it was a beginning. As Aaron fell, plunging into the crushing darkness, something within him shattered. It wasn't his bones, but a seal. An ancient, powerful seal that had been placed upon him since birth. He landed not on jagged rocks, but in a place outside of time, a nexus of raw and tamed energy. It was here he discovered the truth. His zero rank wasn't a mark of weakness. It was a cage, a lock designed to contain a power so immense, so terrifying, that it could threaten the very gods. The energy surged into him, a cataclysmic torrent of power that rewrote his existence. This was Godslayer energy, a force of pure destruction and creation that the world had long forgotten. When Aaron finally climbed out of that abyss, he wasn't the same weak, frightened boy who had fallen in. He was something more, something terrifying. The world around him began to glitch. The air crackled with power as he walked. The ferocious, high-level monsters that roamed the forbidden zone, beasts that could decimate entire armies, didn't attack. Instead, they prostrated themselves. They whimpered and bowed their heads in instinctual terror, recognizing a predator far greater than themselves. He was no longer just a man. He was a walking apocalypse, a glitch in the fabric of reality itself. His first stop was his old squad. He found them celebrating, toasting to their successful mission and the convenient disposal of their zero-rank burden. They laughed and boasted, oblivious to the storm that was about to break over their heads. When Aaron appeared before them, his presence alone was enough to silence the room. The air grew heavy, the temperature dropped, and a primal fear they had never known seized their hearts. They saw the abyss in his eyes, the swirling chaos of the power he now commanded. Their elite ranks, their polished armor, their so-called strength meant nothing. One of them, the captain who had personally kicked him into the chasm, tried to act tough. He drew his blade, his hand trembling, and pointed it at Aaron. But before he could even utter a threat, his legs gave out. He collapsed to his knees, his face a mask of pure, unadulterated horror. The others followed suit, one by one, their bodies betraying them, succumbing to the overwhelming pressure radiating from the zero rank they had despised. Aaron didn't even need to lift a finger. He just stood there, watching them break. He watched as their arrogance crumbled into pathetic sobs. He was their judge, jury, and executioner, all wrapped into one terrifying package. The world outside was about to learn of his return. His reappearance sent shockwaves through the highest echelons of power. The system that had cast him out now saw him as its greatest threat. A worldwide kill order was issued. Every kingdom, every guild, every powerful being was mobilized with a single objective: eliminate Aaron. They branded him a monster, a demon, a threat to the natural order, but they had no idea what they were truly up against. His return didn't just alert the mortals. In ancient tombs and forgotten realms, beings of immense power began to stir. These were the old gods, the ancient entities who recognized the Godslayer energy. They had been sleeping for eons, but the scent of their destroyer had awakened them. Aaron now stood at the center of a storm he had created. On one side, the entire world was hunting him. On the other, ancient gods were rising from their slumber to face him. He was alone, a single man against gods and mortals alike. But for the first time in his life, Aaron wasn't afraid. He looked at the armies gathering on the horizon, felt the gaze of their awakening gods upon him, and a slow, dangerous smile spread across his face. They had called him a zero. He would show them what true nothingness looked like. The hunt was on, but the question wasn't whether they could kill him. It was whether the world itself would survive his wrath. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this story, Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss what happens next in Arn's journey. Let me know in the comments what you think he should do now. See you in the next one.